characters we've got in the dressing room. I think probably throughout the month of December with losing games, we might have put a bit too much emphasis on opposition, how they play, how they set up, and the reality is, let's just go and play Eastwood Community Football Club football. We're about high intensity, we're about hard working, we're about moving the ball quickly. So let's go and play our brand of football, and the result will take care of itself. The biggest message for us today is we need to take something from the game. We want to win every game that we play, but coming away, we've said from the start of the season, taking something away from home is always a good result, because our backers at home against anybody on our pitch. So that's the message today. We want to go and win the game, but at our absolute minimum, we take a point today away from home, and then it's a big one against Skegness next weekend.
And Bally, any squad news to finish off the interview?
So we've got Tinsley in from FC Mansfield, so we go straight into the starting lineup today. Cam Campbell's struggling with his hammy, so there's a slight change at fullback for us. But nothing to worry about. Like I just said then, I think that's probably the one thing we've learnt. We've put too much emphasis on other sides, and we was told, it was Ian Deacon when we first started the season, kind of said don't worry about opposition too much, and maybe we didn't listen to him when he said it as much, because we've got enough in that dressing room to go and beat anybody. So
is that because they take care of themselves and we can only influence our result?
Yeah, exactly that. We don't know enough about teams because they change that often. We don't get to work with the lads enough to really counteract what they do, so we maybe haven't concentrated on ourselves enough. So that's something going forward, we're not going to really worry about what anyone else is doing, just worry about ourselves. Back, like I say, in terms of the squad, that's the only real change today, is the fullback position.
Terry's back as well.
Terry's on the bench.
Because I'm a brilliant interviewer, one more question, DT. Yeah, one more.
Got stuff to do.
Yeah, I know you have. Badger team is a priority. If you was talking to DT at the beginning of the season, what advice would you give him now? Now we're roughly halfway in.
It's a great question. If I was speaking to DT at the start of the season, I would say to DT of now, don't get too emotionally invested, and don't lose your head as often as you do, because I'm a very passionate and emotional person. Enjoy the highs. I'm really high when I'm high, and I'm really low when we're low. But the perspective, and when you actually take a step back and breathe, it's a game of football. We're here to enjoy a brand of football that we have a vision of how we want our sides to do, and winning and losing isn't life and death, and I think sometimes it feels like that when you lose a game or you drop points. But again, I'm 37, Bally's 36. We're still babies in management terms, so that's something that I'm going to work on. I can't guarantee it's going to happen, but it's something. Something. That's my biggest take. Is don't get me wrong. If the lads need a bollocking, I'm more than prepared to do that. But we just need to kind of take a step back sometimes and just not get too emotionally invested in results and performances, etc.
Yeah, I think Jurgen Klopp's a great example you could follow. Martin, we won't talk about last week's result. Moving on to Martin. So Martin, same question to you. Roughly halfway through the season, what would you tell a Martin Ball in August?
The same as I know what you're going to say. The same as DT. Like I say, I'm not as. I think I'm as emotional as him, and I'm very up and down. But I just don't I'm not as vocal with it as him.
I think the last one, mate. The last one was the most pissed off I've probably seen you.
Yeah, I always get that pissed off, but I just don't air it. Yeah. So yeah, that. But then the other one would be get fit, because he made me join in training on Wednesday, and literally it's the hardest training session I've ever had in my entire life. It's horrendous. So if I'd have got fit in August, I'd have been all right Wednesday. So yeah, that's it. Don't get fat. Pause.
No comment, I think. All right, guys. Thanks for the interview. See you post match.
Cheers, mate. See you
Thank you,
later.
mate.